So Black Ops 7 Season 1 for Warzone has just dropped in with the new Haven's Hollow map. But is everything as dandy and rosy as they predicted? I'll give you a full honest breakdown right now onto what my thoughts are within the new update. And I want to start things off first of all by saying this is not some kind of hate rant. This is something that's come from somebody that's played since the very original Call of Duty 4 and has played COD every single year and even for a living for the last seven years or so. And I just want to say that first of all and first and foremost, that I actually genuinely think that the Haven's Hollow map is genuinely really good. I've really enjoyed playing it last night. I played it for a couple of hours and you'll see some gameplay in the background here, just as me dandling through the map on my own for a couple of hours last night. And I want to say that first of all, the map, in my opinion, is kind of a preview as to kind of what's to come with Avalon, in my opinion. It seems like they've really gone to town on the sort of blackouty saturation, the more bright, vibrant, saturated colours that you would get within the blackout map. And I think that's kind of them trying to gauge feedback for what it would be when Avalon releases. And if you've played Endgame, where if you haven't, I'd recommend it if you're a blackout fan, because you get to see what the new blackout map is going to be. And for me, the map itself plays really well. It kind of has Vondel vibrance without the different height layers of Vondel. I really enjoyed the Vondel map. Personally, it was one of my favourite ones, but I can understand people's frustrations with the different layers, but the colours on Vondel were great. And I think that's something that they've tried to really push with this map. As I said, as kind of a thought process of what sort of feedback are we going to get based on this sort of style of map, because Avalon is going to be quite similar colour-wise to that. I think that's not necessarily a bad step. I also think that it's not a bad step that they've gone down this route of using the zombie maps to kind of make this into an actual map. A lot of people seem to think this as a bad thing. Maybe it's a bit lazy, but at the same time they're kind of using their resources that they've got, molding it together and making a map. And at the end of the day, a lot of the spots, say in the new blackout, well, in the new blackout map and the old blackout map, feature a lot of old POIs anyway. So I don't really see it as an issue personally. I think the map plays well. I think it flows well. I didn't really play Black Ops 7. I was level 14 when I started last night. No prestige. I didn't have any of the guns ranked up, and even just picking up the grounded guns, the guns felt good. It felt like COD. Nothing really changed there. It felt like I was playing COD, which is exactly what I was expecting. But this is where the problem lies for me and where it starts to go a bit downhill. COD's developers are still so scared. What planet am I on that I'm still loading in and I'm playing on a brand new update with brand new guns and I'm still loading in trying to play a game on the new map, and it's still forcing me in on a rotational playlist to play Resurgence Rebirth? Can we please remember that it's not just Rebirth? Yes, Rebirth has only been out since the very start of Warzone 5 years ago, but that map was based on the Blackout map Alcatraz. I say based, it's literally identical. It's just slightly more scary in Blackout than it is in this. We've had that map for like 7 years. 7. That's scary. They're still so scared that this game has basically become... the big map is a side note for them at this point. If they lose their Rebirth players, they think they're screwed, which is just insane. If you've got something that is a new map, brand new, and you're trying to get those Resurgence players from Rebirth to play the new map, then just take Rebirth out. Why is that in? Why are we still so scared that we're going to lose everyone, that we can't just force everybody into Resurgence map? Then they don't have a choice. You either play it or you go. Like, COD cannot keep basing everything around Rebirth for Warzone. I find it insane. For me, I'm not even a massive Resurgence fan. Like, I'll play it, don't get me wrong. I'll play it and I can enjoy it for a bit. But that isn't Battle Royale. That's basically a Battle Royale multiplayer crossover, which is fine. I don't mind that. I like what it's for. I like its purpose. But for me, I'm a Battle Royale fan. I prefer the big map. So it kind of annoys me still to this day that the Resurgence has kind of taken over, especially on something that is so old and so overplayed. It's kind of insane to me. But to put something brand new in and then still make it so that you have to play something that's that old is just mind-numbing to me. That's problem number one. And I think that kind of runs true within the multiplayer experience as well, where they have to keep continuously putting Nuketown in, so we've got a small map. Just make a new small map. I guess Nuketown's great, but we get it every year. Same with Shipment. Like, just make another map that's that small. It can't be that hard. Like, genuinely, it cannot be that hard to make another fan favorite small map. Like, they're pretty small. It shouldn't take that long. Like, they just seem constantly scared. And I think that's slightly worrying from a company that's as big as Activision is, that they're still this nervous about the stuff they're putting out. I think they just got to start committing and putting it out. I don't want to play Rebirth. I actually don't. I actually want to play Haven's Hollow when I hop on. And granted, I'm playing a lot of RedSec at the moment. I've not really spent too long playing COD in recent weeks because I've just found it quite stale. This has come out and they've brought out the new open matchmaking, which is another point. I will say that I did play a little bit last night and it didn't feel as sweaty as it used to, whether that's because people have moved on to different games, be it Ark Raiders, be it RedSec or whatever, but it didn't feel quite as sweaty. I don't think it's just that. I do think the open matchmaking has played a part in it. It didn't feel quite as bad, or maybe I'm just him, but it didn't feel quite as bad. So that could be okay. But I only played a very small amount of games and it felt a lot easier on quads, where maybe the player base is more diluted, than it did on solos, where it did feel a bit sweatier. I would say quads felt more okay, and maybe that's because there's more battle dads, I don't know, freaking casuals playing that game mode. That could be why, in part, but that was noticeable. However, I played a very small sample size, be it that I played about an hour and a half, and my last experience of playing Call of Duty was 2 days ago, which is, you're going to say, you said you've not really played it. I loaded up Endgame to look at the Blackout map, and then afterwards on stream I played one a free-for-all game on open matchmaking, and I loaded in. I'm default level 14, 2 max prestige, master prestiges, 2 people with nuke cooling cards, and 2 boosters. That was my experience from default level 14, having not loaded up COD in over 3 weeks. So whether or not that open matchmaking will actually work is a different thing entirely. For me, if you're going to have open matchmaking, they still clearly put SBMM in it. So whether they just reduce SBMM a bit and then call it open matchmaking, that's just wrong. For me, personally, if you want to do that process, which is what I thought they should do since they put SBMM in, is have a no SBMM game mode and a ranked game mode. Nothing in between. Not an open SBMM ranked, open, so it's completely opened with no restrictions, and then ranked. I think that's what they should do. I think they should do that across all game modes. I think ranked should come out for Haven's Hollow, and I swear to God, if they bring out a ranked Rebirth, I will cry and probably not touch it. So I hope they do that. For me, again, as somebody I did say this would happen. I don't know if you're the same. Maybe you still love it. It could just be me. This is my opinion, but I'm already bored of Verdansk. I don't see me wanting to load up just because they redid a POI that they put in the previous updates on the original Verdansk. When they put in the I can't remember, is it factory that they put in? I can't remember where it is, but it's where the silos was on the previous bit. That update there, that doesn't do it for me. There's one new POI that we didn't have before, right in the top corner of the map, that I barely ever go to anyway, near the top of Dam. I never really go that sort of way anyway. That isn't going to bring me back. That is kind of old. Again, I'm kind of done with that. I personally, one of the most enjoyable times that I had, and especially given the wait times that they have for Big Map right now, I'm of the opinion that the only map that should be in currently is Haven's Hollow. Just for the next month or so, have a resurgence on Haven's Hollow and have a reduced amount of players, like we did with Vondel BR, if you remember. Have like a 72 player BR Haven's Hollow. I don't see that being an issue. I think that would work well. It would drastically reduce searching time. Just keeping the game more fresh and getting us used to it before, if they are trialing this for Avalon, which I think they are, testing that out and doing it that way. Because if you're going to put the time and effort into putting these new maps out, why not let us play them? Verdansk is done. We've played it for years. Just move that pawn, or maybe make that a rotation for do a rotational Verdansk and battle royale of Haven's Hollow. That could be an option before they then bring in big map rotation, which I am looking forward to, because some of the old maps that's what I always ask for. I think they've done it too little too late personally, but I did always say that I would like a big map rotation. Why have we not got that in when they clearly could do it? I also don't really see the whole hold up. I don't know why, if they've got it and they've got the ability to do it, they rotated all the Resurgence maps months and months ago. They rotated Ashika, Rebirth, and Fortune's Keep, I think it was, from memory. They clearly got the ability to do it. I don't see what's stopping them just bringing it out. Why does it need to be so far away? The game's already struggling for viewership and player base, so why not just bring it out? I don't really see why they don't, but I'm thinking a lot of this is kind of testing for Blackout 2. My final point when it comes to Blackout 2, having now played the Avalon map, I am of the opinion that if they do Blackout 2 correctly, it could slap. It genuinely could slap. My big worry is that they basically just call it Blackout 2, give us a colourful map, and it's just Warzone on that map. Meaning there is still loadouts, meaning there is still a stupidly fast TTK and completely broken weapons. Everybody's still got to rank all their guns up, have all the camos, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to have camos, but you know what I mean. Everything stays exactly the same. They just call it Blackout 2 and it's bait. What I beg, because I think the map actually has a lot of promise, like a lot of promise. It looks really good, the Avalon map. I beg that they just go back to the basics of what an actual battle royale is. And maybe that's where they lost some of their player base too, is the fact that it's not really a battle royale. It's this kind of crossover between, it's almost a BR, but it's not, because it's Warzone and it's different. But Blackout, I don't care what anyone says. Blackout was a true battle royale. Lootable heals, where you have to manually heal yourself, filling up armor, finding attachments. All guns are ground-based guns. You have to find attachments and equip them. There's no loadouts. You don't need to have bought the current iteration of multiplayer to rank up guns. And I think that could be the route they're going down, because they're bringing it out in March. By that point, their sales kind of die up on multiplayer anyway. If you were going to buy it, you would have probably bought it a while ago. So maybe that is what they're doing, and I beg that is what they're doing. You don't need a loadout for perks. You can pick up perks. You can pick up dead silence and have good audio in the game, where it's not just one layer of audio and then somebody shoots a gun on the other side of the map and you can't hear footsteps anymore. Make it like Blackout originally, where there's multi-layers of audio and you can hear people coming. But to kind of counter that, so people don't always know, you can pick up a dead silence perk so you can make plays. You can pick up an awareness perk to counter the dead silence perk and pop that and use that. Just various things that created a skill gap, which is what made Blackout so perfect. And honestly, I would just take a remake of that, but eventually I'd probably get, well, I don't know if I would get bored, but just get rid of Ricochet, but get in something completely new. Look at Valorant's anti-cheat, the Vanguard anti-cheat. Put in a proper anti-cheat and make a perfect Blackout, because Avalon's got so much promise. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on Black Ops 7, on the Season 1 update of Haven's Hollow. Let me know your thoughts on Blackout 2. What do you think is going to happen? Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Couldn't switch out of it like it was Red Sec, bro. That was a 1v1. No way. I got red sect. Oh.